This is more awkward than I thought because it's looking a little too dewy. You know, it's like a little over 80 degrees where I am. But hey everyone, it's Blessed Patty here. And ooh, I'm filming again. I'm back. And all right, so we're gonna be discussing Baddies Caribbean. Now, I watch Baddies. I've been a fan of the Baddies, whatever, since Bad Girls Club. I will say there is a huge difference between Bad Girls Club and Baddies. I have a few of my own favorites from BGC, Megan, Natalie, Tanisha, like OG. Like, I started watching Bad Girls Club Tanisha season, and I just kind of followed up with the girls. Judy, my favorite bad girl of all time. And if you want to know why Judy's my favorite bad girl, leave a comment below. If I remember, I'll just fucking add it to the end of the video, whatever. And then with Baddies Caribbean, or just the Baddies special on Zeus, I started watching, I believe, Baddies South, the season with Scotty and Krishan. That's when I subscribed to Zeus and started watching Baddies. And it's nice to see Natalie Nunn still getting to her bag. She went from I Run LA to Baddie Shot O'Clock, and we get into the bag. So I've always been a fan of Natalie, even on her season of Bad Girls Club when she was not liked. Like, I always appreciated Natalie, and I don't know why. I think it's just like the I don't give a fuck attitude, the luxurious. Even when she was just being delusional, like, girl, her BGC days, you really weren't giving rich girl. But the fact that, like, to see how far she's come off of delusion, girl, I fucks with it. And I've been a fan since day one. Like, I've been like arguing with my friends in middle school, like, no, but she fought, who was it, Priscilla? I'm like, no, but Priscilla caught her off guard. So I just feel like for Priscilla to have caught her off guard, I feel like Natalie won that fight. Like, I've always been a Natalie Nunn fan, and I'm just glad that she's still getting to the bag and she marketed and branded herself well enough to give us Baddies, and for me to give y'all a platform to talk about the bullshit that I'll be watching. Because I really shouldn't be watching this shit, but what can I say? I like to indulge in the ratchetness and the bird behavior at times. So these past few episodes, I think we've gone through Baddies Caribbean. Let me turn my notifications down. I think we've gone through about 4 different episodes of Baddies Caribbean. Now, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the season so far, but before I really get into the different cast members and the specific details of Baddies Caribbean specifically, there is something that I really need to discuss, and I feel like a different, unique, special perspective to offer when it comes to this topic specifically, because as you know, Jayla, also one of my favorites from Bad Girls Club, her season in Claremont Twins, Jayla and Gretchen and versus Black women in the house have been going back and forth about this N-word, my nigga debate. Okay, so one, I will say what makes my perspective unique is because I was actually born in North Carolina, raised back and forth a bit between North Carolina and Connecticut. And I will say, I will just go to start like this. People in Connecticut say nigga. The Asians say nigga. The white people say nigga. The Puerto Ricans say nigga. The white Puerto Ricans say nigga. The black, everybody says. On the East Coast, it's more mixed, and especially with hood and suburban and rural. So in the hood, 9 times out of 10, everyone's saying nigga regardless of their skin complexion. Now, North Carolina, or the South, if you will, predominantly Black Americans, African Americans, do not come across people from the Caribbean like that. Gretchen trying to explain to Jayla that she's Puerto Rican and she's not a Black Puerto Rican. She's not even a racially ambiguous Puerto Rican. Her trying to explain why she says nigga, red flag number 1, right? But me being from Connecticut, I will say they say nigga out here, especially in her, everyone says nigga. And what makes these past few episodes triggering for me is the fact that going to school, I would say from middle school to high school, that's when I, lived in Connecticut. And coming across people who didn't look like me just saying that word, it's like, oh yeah, my nigga, oh nigga this or nigga that. It always made me uncomfortable. And a large black population here on the East Coast as well feels uncomfortable when non-black people say that word. But the triggering part of this season is that they're using these episodes and they're using this discussion to kind of broadcast how much they don't give a fuck. And I will say, with Gretchen being from Connecticut, as someone, so this is how I say it. I'm from North Carolina, but I would say I'm from Connecticut because I spent most of my life in Connecticut. As someone from Connecticut, that's some real CT shit. Like, we are very much trolls. We really don't give a fuck. Like, we are disassociated. Like, we really, it's a very unserious culture here. It's more urban and just like nonchalant. So her, you know, explaining how she don't give a fuck, I'm not gonna lie, that's real CT right there. That is some Connecticut shit. But to see a large portion of my peers from middle school or high school, or those who I grew up around who are Puerto Rican or from the Caribbean and aren't black, use this to convey their message of, I don't give a fuck, I still want to say nigga. There's a conversation that needs to be had, and there are things that need to be addressed and said. And I'm going to try to make it make sense because I know y'all motherfuckers got left behind. Okay, Bush pushed y'all forward, but y'all still got left fucking behind. The brain cells didn't fully develop. So I'm going to try to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, understand these things with me, but y'all motherfuckers. Jayla is from Texas. Jayla is an African-American woman from Texas. I am an African-American woman from North Carolina. The South, there's not a huge population of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Trinidadians, Jamaicans, you know, so they don't really understand the culture here on the East Coast, and they don't have to. Okay, so they don't have to because they're not on the receiving end of mercy. Y'all are. Regardless, the word nigga, the N-word, is a racist word, okay? At no point in time can anyone, especially a white-skinned, whatever the fuck you want to be when you want to be, your phenotypes, your race, your skin complexion, your phenotypes, your features, that is your race. You are a white woman. You being from Puerto Rico, that is the nation that you're from. That's your nationality, okay? And I've seen so many ignorant fucking things said. At the end of the day, if someone comes to you and they say, hey, I find this word offensive, and if your intentions are to not be racist, then you should stop saying it around that person. With all due respect. Like, if they consider that word to be offensive, which they have every right to, you, a white-skinned Puerto Rican or a non-black person, you don't click black, your mom isn't phenotypically black, your dad isn't phenotypically black, hell, your great-grandparents aren't phenotypically black, there's no excuse, there's no conversation from that point. And what pissed me off with this last episode in general is you see Aubrey, a white American woman, okay? Her race is white, her nationality American, is explaining to these motherfuckers why Gretchen shouldn't be saying nigga in the most educated and calm way. It took a white, blue-eyed, blonde white girl to tell you why you shouldn't be saying nigga. I used to, like I said, I grew up around people who aren't black who say nigga. And I also went to a predominantly white institution. And the white people there say nigga. And I've gotten into debates, discussions, and hostile situations because of the word nigga. And I remember one of my classmates at the time, who is actually from the Caribbean, he was Jamaican, and he was like, you know, you really shouldn't insult your intelligence like that, like having certain conversations with people, because I'm why are you calling me nigga? Why are you saying that word? Like, don't say that word. Like, you shouldn't say that word. I'm African American. I'm not, you know. And he's like, why should you, a black woman, have to explain to someone why you find the word nigga offensive? Like, why would you ever lower yourself to that level to have to explain that? And this is Baddies, and I'm not under the impression that a lot of the people watching the show are trying to have educated takes, but these are real people. These are real situations that happen on a daily. And when it comes to the N-word, read the fucking room. Like, even me as a black American, I know that that word is racist. Even I as a black woman, it is a racist word to use. That's why black people say it, because we're taking the power back from the systematic racism that comes with the word nigga. Okay? So it is always a racist word, and that is the reason why black people say it. So stop trying to say, oh, it's just a cool word. It's just a word that urban people use. No, it is a racist word that black people took back. Black people are one of the most oppressed groups in America. So of course, you know, we're very inviting with our culture. We're very accepting, you know, camaraderie, all of that. But at the same time, it comes back and it bites us in the ass as a community, because when we do voice ourselves, when we do ask for that respect, it's just all these excuses. Like, you're not speaking up for voter suppression. You're not speaking up for systematic racism. You're not speaking up for any issues that occur with black people on a large scale. But when it comes to fighting for your right to say nigga, when I tell you, y'all will really come out like packs of wolves, as if this word isn't an offensive word. Even me as a black American woman, I would never use that word in church around black people. I would never use that word in front of my grandfather, who was a 70-year-old veteran from the South. I would never do that, because I understand the word has power to it. The word is a racist word. Okay? Yeah, with my friends and in music, it sounds cool. But at the end of the day, read the room. Even I, as a black woman, read the room. Like, my skin is black, right? No one ever has to look at me like, oh, she's saying nigga, you know? So even I read the room, and that is very important, because the word is rooted in racism, and nobody, especially a white person, a white Puerto Rican, can take that out of it. And with Gretchen specifically, no one denied that you're from the hood. No one denied that you're not white American. Like, you're Puerto Rican, yes, but you're a white Puerto Rican. You're a white skinned Puerto Rican. You are not black. No one is denying that you're not, you know, your family were previous slave owners here in America and South, and now you're just white saying it. Like, no one's denying that you don't have that background, but you're still white. And it's very much possible to be white and not be white American, white Southern American. And when they addressed you and your response was, I don't give a fuck, I'ma say nigga, at that point it was nothing but racism. And just because you're not running around with a Confederate flag saying I want to hang niggas, I hate black people, that doesn't mean you're not being racist. Like, at what point did racism is systematic. So if black women are coming to you and they say, hey, we find this word offensive, you're looking for excuses like, oh, it's just a word I use, or oh, she's from the hood, or there's no excuse. No one's denying those things. But at what point do we grow? Because yeah, I've gone to high school and middle school with Puerto Ricans or Latino people who aren't necessarily Puerto Rican. You know, they got straight hair, they got white skin, they're probably from Peru or Dominican Republic, but they're white. They said nigga, but as they got older and they became more educated, they got businesses, they have professional jobs. I'm not excusing that anymore. I'm not going to say nigga. And I respect them for that. Not that anyone needs my respect. But at what point do we say to ourselves, yeah, you know what? This was who I was. This is how I behaved. But now that I'm seeing it from a different perspective, let me grow. And I saw a comment earlier on Facebook. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Basically, the quote was like, the comment on Facebook that I saw was like, oh yeah, I can't expect people to just change their habits if that's what they're used to saying. Skirt! There are consequences for problematic behavior. So let's start there. Secondly, I guarantee you, if for whatever reason Jay-Z or Beyonce or President Barack Obama or Neo, someone gave her an opportunity of her lifetime, whoever it was, just say it was a black American, just like, oh, I want you to be my stylist, or I want you to be like my personal assistant, whatever she does, and she called them or referred to them as my nigga, and someone with this, all this influence and all this money and all this power, who is now paying her bills, who is now putting her in a position to make more money now that she's in a different circle, she's in a different entourage, and they explain to her like, girl, stop saying nigga, you're not black, it would never be an issue. Why? Because we're in a different, we're growing, right? So sure, that was your habit before, but I promise you, you might be missing out on so many opportunities simply because you just don't want to grow and understand others. You want to look for an excuse. And I will say, I will give Puerto Ricans this, where the confusion is. Not every nation or environment looks at race the same way Americans do. Race is a very sensitive topic in America for obvious reasons. I'm not here to educate y'all. Y'all parents should have just kept y'all in the same grade instead of skipping y'all forward like Bush said. So that's your problem. But what I will say, race is a sensitive topic in America for obvious reasons. And one of the most obvious reasons is because it's systematic. The laws, okay, the way we vote, the education system, the food system, it's all stemming from racism. Redlining, why black people on a large scale aren't homeowners. It all stems from racism. And race specifically was used to create what we see as America today. So it is a very sensitive topic in this country. Puerto Ricans, okay, the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade did hit, the Caribbeans, obviously. So Puerto Ricans, there are some who are racially ambiguous. I would say, we'll give it to Jennifer Lopez, right? Like, you're not white, you're not black. Like, we don't really know where to put you. So I'll give, like, some of them are, like, ambiguous. Then you have the Jocelyn Hernandez, the Lala Anthony's, where you're black, but you're from Puerto Rico. Bernice Burgos, black, but from Puerto Rico. Then you have Mariah Lynn and Gretchen, from Puerto Rico, but white. And a lot of Puerto Ricans, where I'm from, Hartford, Connecticut, has the highest population of Puerto Ricans per capita outside of Puerto Rico. So I come across a lot of Puerto Ricans on the daily and growing up, because where I used to live, that's the highest population of Puerto Ricans outside of Puerto Rico. A lot of them are mixed or ambiguous, if you will. So her response with saying, I'm not white or I'm Puerto Rican, not really understanding that Puerto Rican is your nationality, not your race, it's understandable, because it's not as black and white as it is in those environments. But if someone's being patient with you and they're allowing you an opportunity to learn, and you look at them and you say, I don't give a fuck, my nigga, and then refer to another black woman as a lame ass nigga, you deserve to get your ass beat. And we just gonna keep it at that. There are consequences for the things that you say. Me personally, I am no longer fighting or arguing with anyone over that word, simply because I wasted a lot of energy on it. What I do now, I'm not going to insult my intelligence. I'm going to leave people where the fuck they at. If you want to be ignorant, if you want to be stupid, like I've come across white people, Asian people, white Spanish people or Latino people who want to say nigga and they're not black. And I actually, at my university, we used to have this thing called late night karaoke. It would go from like 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. And we would go to the student union at UConn and we would have karaoke. And I remember this one night in particular, these 3 white friends, like white, go up on the stage and Kanye West Gold Digger starts playing. And I already knew motherfuckers was being funny, because he's like, I'm not saying she a gold digger, but she ain't mess with no broke. And he literally yelled, nigga, in the microphone. Like, yelled it in the microphone. When I tell you, after he did that, you couldn't even hear the music anymore. Like, all the black people were like, I literally got on stage, took that microphone, and the little boy was like, why would you say that? Like, literally, he's shaking. I'm gonna clip it in here if I can. And what pissed me off is that a lot of the black people were still like in the stands, like, obviously he don't give a fuck that y'all feel some type of way. He did it on purpose, which is why he yelled it, and y'all just standing in the crowds yelling and complaining. No, I got up on stage. What's good? Like, why would you say that word? I just choose not to associate with ignorant people who can't read the room. These conversations happen often because on the East Coast there's a huge variety of different identities. And with my friends in particular, yeah, I know they're not calling me a nigga, but I respect the fact that if it slips out, because I know everyone says it. Like, I'm not dumb. I know everybody says that word. Just like if I'm in a car and I'm rapping Eminem, are there some words that I don't particularly say in public that I would say in my car or around my friends or on a drunk night? Absolutely. But I read the room. And if it does slip out, because again, like I told you, I have a degree in communication. If it does slip out in regular conversation, I'm immediately apologizing, because it's really not about your intentions if someone still finds it offensive. And black people have every right to find that word offensive. And are there some black people who do not give a fuck, who do not care who uses the word nigga, or they don't really think that much of it? Yes, there's a large population of black people who are either exhausted from arguing about it, or who just simply don't care, or who are also just very much ignorant. They don't really see the issue. They don't know their history themselves. But you never really know what type of black people you're going to be around. So I would just say it's always going to serve you better or benefit you more if you just read the room. And even I, as a black woman, do that. But the fact that they try to excuse away, oh, she's from the hood, like, we're not trying to hear her excuses. We don't have to. She is wrong. Two things can be true. She can be from the hood, and she can outgrow some behavior once it's brought to her attention. So now that that's out the way, this season so far, okay, so I just took like a snack break, but I was editing and I wanted to say this, the Gretchen thing, right? Another thing I see with non-black people, or those who identify as people of color, you know, you're not white, American, whatever, is that when you do partake in black American culture, it's inauthentic and it's overdone and it's extremely exaggerated. So I think where Gretchen is going wrong is that she uses nigga as a filler word. Like, it's my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, like after every other word. And so it just makes it that much more shocking, because it's not like, oh, I'm saying it in a song, or, oh, I used to say it when I was a kid, or I say it with my friends, so it slips out here and there. It's like, no, you're literally my nigga, 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 nigga. And a word like nigga that's highly offensive around a group of black women, I understand why she got her ass beat. Sapphire was happy as hell that she finally won a fight. Like, every other teacher was, oh, she just got decked 3 times, and oh, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, literally, that, what was it, the second episode, every time the camera panned to Sapphire was, oh, I don't give a fuck about that wig. She got decked 3 times, and then she didn't want to, she ran, blah, 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 blah. Like, girl, you happy you finally want to fight. And Bianca did disappoint me, because on Love and Hip Hop, Bianca, she threw them hands, whatever, right? I also saw some people, so I see that Jayla's not really a favorite this season, which just disclaimer, these women are pretty much entertainers, actresses, so I know I look at them as personality, TV personality. So I know this is really just entertainment. They really just acting, a lot of it, but some of it. So Jayla is looked at as a bully now. Jayla is not the favorite because people are saying that she's, oh, but the N-word is not that deep. It's not that deep. It don't have to be that deep to you, one. Secondly, when it comes to Biggie, I love Biggie. And I've been a fan of Biggie since her season, was it Baddies West? Since her season with Stunner Girl, when Biggie wasn't really a favorite. I've loved Biggie since the trailer for Baddies West, when her and Tommy was sitting down, Stunner Girl was like, I want to fight you and you. She's like, that's fine. Like, from that trailer alone, before the season even aired, I love Biggie. And I still like her to this day. But what gets me is people are keeping her in this victim mentality. And it's crazy to see, because how is Jayla bullying Biggie when Biggie went online and threatened Jayla, said that she was going to assault her, and then when they did fight, I'm not gonna lie, Biggie ate with that first fight with her and Jayla, which is probably why Jayla kept, you know, egging it on. So I will say that she probably was doing a little too much with the fight, because Biggie really did some work the first fight. The first fight, when I would say the first episode or the second one. Yeah, so Biggie snatched her chain, and in front of her friends, like, really popping shit like, oh, I don't care, I'm not giving her back the chain, she's not getting back the chain. Okay, so Biggie, you see, is still egging the issue on. And then when they get in the house, obviously, like, you scratch my eye, or we're on Baddies, like, girl, and you say you was gonna slap me, so what's up? I completely understand Jayla line. Well, I have kept going no, because I know that Biggie is not the best fighter, but at the same time, I don't think that Biggie deserves to be coddled under the umbrella of her, or the guise of her not knowing how to fight. Because if you're not a fighter, if you don't know how to fight, you know that. So why are you threatening me? And why should I protect you or put you in this box of, oh, she could say or do whatever she wants to me because she's not a fighter. She's not a fighter like that. Why should I do that? You slapped E.T., rightfully so. You fought Rolly, rightfully so. You ran up on Jayla or whatever, for whatever reasons y'all have issues y'all have. And then when someone's giving you their energy back, you cry, and now you're being bullied. I do not like that. The word bully gets thrown around way too much. Jayla is not a bully, because I know if anybody in these scenarios, if somebody went online and said they were going to slap you for your opinion, you weren't being disrespectful, you just gave your opinion, someone asked you a question, this person said that they were going to slap you, snatched your chain, and was really popping off like they did their big one, you would not let the situation go either, 9 times out of 10. So let's just keep it at that. Jayla is not no fucking bully. Biggie is just a weak-minded individual. Biggie is just a crybaby, if you will. But Jayla, that does not make Jayla a bully. It's crazy to see how, like, the tables turn with Biggie specifically, because the reason why her and Stunner Girl really had a big issue is because she gave her opinion on Stunner Girl fighting Tommy at their photo shoot. Biggie simply gave her opinion. I don't feel like Stunner Girl really had a reason to be mad at Biggie. Stunner Girl was just like one of those, like, oh, I just want to fight, I want to fight. So you see that. You gave your opinion. It wasn't that deep. And here you are attacking someone for really just giving their opinion on a fight. And Biggie knows she can't fight. So if someone said you lost a fight, at least you weren't scared to fight. But you threatening me, saying you're going to slap the shit out of me. If anything, Biggie was the aggressor. I'm not going to use bully, because at no point was anyone on the show. The only bully on the show was Krishan, and she's not even on the season. So Tinka and Diamond the Body. Now, I see a lot of people too, they didn't like Tinka, or they're saying that she was annoying the last episode when she was like stepping on DTB's wig. And let me just say this. DTB is a clout chaser. She is an attention-seeking whore. She's not funny. She has no personality. Like, she's very boring. I would love to, like, see her off the show. And it's really like this really annoys me that she does, but whatever. I have this thing where when people look funny, it kind of just annoys me. But with her, it's like you wanted to be on a show so bad that you fought somebody randomly. Like, you just randomly ran up and you got beat up, and now you're still getting beat up. Like, you're still getting beat up. I'm not gonna lie, she can't fight, but she getting beat up regardless. And your only insult is, oh, you have bleached skin, Like, clearly the girl don't give a fuck, right? Like, she bleached her skin. She's not getting upset with you saying that. She does not really care about what you think. What's happening is you need a storyline and you keep egging it on and you keep getting beat up. And I'm glad I waited until this last episode aired, because I saw a lot of opinions saying that Tinkerbella was annoying and she was doing too much. She wasn't funny when it came to DTV, because she should have just let it go. The girl assaulted her for no reason other than to just, oh, I'm just trying to get on the show, like a little thirsty clout chaser. Then you keep wanting to fight because you lost and you keep getting beat up. Skirt. Let's just stop here. Because there were some comments saying that, Tinka just kept tackling DTV, or she wasn't really, DTP was the only one throwing punches. And that might not be wrong. But how I see it, there's really no rules to fighting. Like, my goal is to harm you. Like, if I gotta pull hair, I am against biting and spitting, because that, skin and bodily fluids, that's disgusting, right? But hey, if you, Mike Tyson, you want to bite somebody's ear off, I will look down on that. It's disgusting, but whatever. It's also a sign that you're getting your ass beat if you got to bite or spit. But she got tackled. She kept putting her in a headlock. I think Tinka won that fight. I don't care how many weak punches you throw. I don't have no scars. I don't have no knots. Like when Christian or Tasiki fight and they punch somebody, every person that they fought has a knot. The fact that DTV left no knots, no scars on Tinka, she lost that fight. I don't care. She's not a bad fighter. She's not a punk, but she still lost. Okay? There's nothing wrong with tackling or putting somebody in a headlock in a fight. Why? Because the goal is to harm your opponent. So, Tinkerbella was only just tackling, or it's a fight. Like, it's a fight. My goal is to harm you. I'm not trying to be noble. Oh, ain't no pulling here, or oh, no tackling, no headlock, oh, punches only. Says the fuck who? Says who? Because if we fight, and best believe, ain't no rules for me. That's why I just encourage everyone to keep their hands to themselves. DTP, for example, because you just randomly hit somebody and you just kept getting beat up. And now this past episode, you see how annoying she really is. Then you said that the girl don't love herself. You're saying that the girl don't love herself because she bleached her skin, yet you're walking around here with a BBL. And no shade to the BBL girlies, but as somebody who is naturally fine, I will say you getting cut open, putting your life at risk, flying out the country and flying back with a sore ass back and neck. I don't think you're the one who should be talking about somebody loving themselves or not. Sure, she bleached her skin for whatever reason. It wasn't really a good job. It does look a little crazy, but she clearly don't give a fuck. And you can't speak about nobody loving themselves when you got cosmetic work done as well, even on your teeth. So, Diamond the Body can go. The Claremont twins. I'm glad that they came on the show. I'm also glad that they, we're bougie. We're from Malibu. Like, this isn't our thing. So we're gonna head out. I feel like that was a good call for them, but it was nice to see them on the screen again. And they're in a different lane right now. And cheers to them. Like, they've done things with Kim Kardashian. They're not really associated with Baddies that much anymore, BGC. So that's the reason why BGC is no longer. So it's nice to see the come up. I think they were just there as like the party girls, or just like show their faces to get people to watch. But I don't think it was really on call for them to be on the show long term. Callie, I like. I think that she definitely beats ass. She could definitely throw them hands. Natalie and Tommy. The problem with people who are popular is that they can fight someone and not necessarily win, but because they're popular, it's like that just overshadows them losing a fight. And if we keeping it real, Natalie lost that fight with Tommy. She got some good hits in. She definitely got some good hits in, but the first 2 rounds she went with Tommy was beating her up. With the car situation, okay, she got Tommy good, but overall, I don't think she won that fight with Tommy. Like, if we count everything, I would give it to Tommy, but it's Natalie's show. It's the majority of Natalie's friends and fans, so it was really embarrassing for Tommy. And I like them both. I liked Tommy on Love and Hip Hop, and I like Tommy on BGC. It's really, I mean, on Baddies, it's really odd to see her and Natalie go back and forth. But whatever. Tasiki, somebody said that Tasiki was boring. I don't know, do y'all think Tasiki's boring? I really like Tasiki. And what I appreciate about Tasiki the most is I can tell that she's like, she has morals and she has like boundaries. I could see her going farther than Baddies in general. Like, she's super talented. And she's one of those where like, I can fight if that's what you want to do. If you want to get me fucked up, I can fuck you up. But I'm not like just raggedy and just want to fight all the time. Like, I feel like some of the Baddies fans, y'all need to learn the difference between somebody who's not scared to fight and just wants to fight all the time, Stunna Girl, and somebody who can fight. Well, actually, Stunna Girl can fight, but she just wants to fight all the time. There are people who want to fight all the time, who aren't necessarily bad fighters, but they're not like anything to be scared of. Tasiki can fight. And it's just like, it's not what I want to do all the time. I don't think that makes her boring. She's not one of those like her sister who I'm going to do any and everything just to get attention. And that's why I respect her. Like, I feel like her talent alone and her being able to like entertain us when she does fight, she's going to go farther than Baddies. I see like a Dream Doll. Like, Baddies could be like where I started, but, and I know Dream Doll wasn't on Baddies, she was on BGC, but y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. Tasiki, this is not all that she's gonna be. She's super talented. She's beautiful as fuck. Her and her sister both are very pretty. And she will knock the fuck out of you. You can't lose with that. I eat her personality. She was made for TV. And the key to her going far is I'm not doing any and everything just to remain relevant or have a storyline. That proves that she has dignity and morals, which is what's going to be needed. Meatball and Jayla, the fact that Meatball was really trying to like explain how Jayla is a bully because she needs to pick on somebody her own size and not Biggie size when her and Biggie are literally the same size. If Jayla's not afraid to beat up Rolly, what would make anyone think that she's scared of Meatball? And I get how they edited that trailer before this episode aired to make it seem like Jayla was really shook. But let's be real, Meatball not putting fear in nobody's heart, especially Jayla, especially when she just saw you fight on the beach. She didn't get beat up, like she didn't get her ass whipped, but she didn't like, it wasn't on no Tasiki. And I just got brain fog right now, maybe because it's like really hot. So I'm going to end it right here. If I do have more to say, I'll just make another video.